There is a fifth dimension.
A dimension of sound.
Damn it, Frank! We tell him to be quiet. I spilled my hot cup of Uranus again.
A dimension of sight.
Hey, Arch. I'm gonna sock you in the puss.
A dimension of mind.
Man, Adams, is that you?
Next stop, the Twilight Zone.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fifth Dimension of Twilight Zone podcast. I am once again your host, Nick, and we are once again talking about the Twilight Zone, the Rod Serling famous show that he did for a few years till they kicked him off because he got angry and, you know, went off to do the whatever that other show he was, Rear Window, or what's that show called that he did?
Outer Limits?
No, that's not out.
Night Gallery.
Oh,
Night Gallery.
no. Night Gallery. You said Outer Limits.
We might get banned for this for saying that. So
Then take it out in post.
No, I'm gonna leave it in.
Shit.
Fuck it, it's staying in.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live.
Who do I have
But
to insult
anyways-
to get it off this episode?
I know exactly.
have to insult
You just
to
start
get
talking
off?
about testicle trauma. That's when it gets edited, you know. But
Oh, see, so there was
anyways,
this dog toy, and he kept repeatedly kicking a guy in the balls with it, and it was really bad. And then he shoved a tiny drill bit up his urethra, and had to try to pull it out
Whoa.
with a fish wire.
Mute. Jesus Christ, woman.
that even shocked Jacob, but Jacob never gets shocked by anything.
Did I not tell you guys the story?
I'm cringing and everything's getting real tight
Yeah.
right now.
So if you like to listen to the audio form of this, you can find it on Apple Podcast and Google Podcast and Audio Boom and what's that audio thing, Anchor, that I put it on because it's free. Thank you, Anchor, for that until they start charging us for it. But we're here to, like I said, to talk Twilight Zone. And I have my usual host to talk to about this. And I think I would say a pretty interesting episode, to be fairly honest. I didn't think it was too bad. But first, we have the man who refuses a no exit clause from the fifth dimension, Jacob of Jacob Anders Reviews. What's going on, Jacob?
Nothing much. What's going on, everybody?
Not much.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought this episode was interesting. I thought it was pretty good. We'll
But
start
is
there.
it as good as no exit? He's like, no comment.
Yes. I haven't reviewed that movie yet. I don't want to put my thoughts out as of yet, but let's say yes, it's a whole lot better than that because that movie sucked. In my humble opinion.
Great movie, best movie ever. So
Yeah. Scoop.
And then we have
For
the woman
50 or
What's
so
that?
people that'll watch. For the 50 or so people that'll watch. Scoop.
Yeah.
Watch my review. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, but also we have the woman who saw the Batman and misses the Bat Nibbles. Triv from Trivial Theater. What's going on, Triv?
Actually, I'm more of a bat ass person than I am a bat nipple person, but I understand.
I mean, you never know. You could like
Yeah.
both and not want to admit to it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, can't complain. Doing okay. So I'm
But, I mean,
currently
clearly-
balls deep
Got it.
and deep rising. So
Exactly. But like they always
Yeah.
say, but really they're the worms eating Andy Serkis's brain of my heart.
no, that's the nicest thing you've ever said.
That's the
Not
nicest
sure how
thing
I
anybody
feel
said to
about-
me all day.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to feel about our relationship now, Nick. I'm kind
I
of
mean, you love eating Andy Serkis, so I mean, hey, there you go.
I love eating Andy Serkis. I didn't realize I did. I appreciate you bringing it to my
I'm going to
attention.
take it there. Maybe he loves eating you.
I mean, I'm not opposed. If you wanted to, I'd be like, hey, are you?
He's a versatile guy.
Yeah.
I
Can you
know.
do a breath mint first? But other than that, sure.
I'd say
I mean, I can rub.
I can do it like a
deodorant.
monkey.
But yeah, so back on topic. Today we're talking about an episode that I don't remember, to be fairly at all. Don't remember at all, and that of course is season 1, episode 26. It's called Execution, which I thought was gonna be like an execution chair. I didn't know where this episode was going until I kind of thought about it as we'll talk about it, but It's directed by David Orrick McDearmon, written by Rod Serling. Stars Albert Salmi as Joe Coswell, Russell Johnson as
And Russell Baloney.
Russell Baloney and thigh pork chop.
And Joe
Russell
Pimento
Jo-
Loaf.
Russell Johnson's in here as Professor Mannion, but he's never actually, I don't think he's ever announced by that name. So I just call him Future Man for the entire episode.
Nice.
And then Wyenn, who's Paul Johnson, who comes in later in the episode. So this episode is an interesting one because it is a very different episode than I think we've seen so far, in the simple fact that it uses a different. Have we seen time travel in this series at all? Anybody
I don't
remember?
Yeah.
Outside of like
with
walking
the,
distance, maybe.
No, the one where the guy flies, the British soldier.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
did.
He lands on the, but I mean, not like,
Not to
not
this
scientific
extent.
time travel.
Yeah.
This is more like man in scientific time travel. So no, we haven't seen that.
Was it the last flight? No, that wasn't the last flight.
Yeah, it was the last flight.
Or was
yeah,
it the
yeah,
last
yeah.
flight?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. That sounds good.
Cool.
But I'm assuming you guys are like me. I know, especially you, Jacob. You don't remember, I'm sure, this episode at all, or maybe you do. I don't know. You seem to know the
I do
episodes.
not.
I forget. You know, Trev. I don't know about you either, but if you remember it all. But I mean, let me ask you this: when you guys went into this episode, or when you go into an episode, do you guys read anything about it, or are you just going blind? Like, how do you guys handle an episode? 'Cause especially an episode like this, you can kind of see where it's heading, maybe a little bit, maybe you don't. I don't know. But where do you guys go in blind when you watch these episodes, or do you look at the synopsis, or I mean, how do you guys handle that kind of stuff?
I tend to go in as blind as possible, but that's kind of how I approach all this stuff. I was actually familiar with this episode. Like, for some reason, it sticks in my head. I think every Twilight Zone marathon that I've watched, it's been a part of that. So
There's always one of us who's like, I remember this one like the back of my hand, and the others are like, I don't know. But no, I'm with Triv. I go in as blind as possible. I will read on stuff after the episode when I'm like putting my half-ass notes together. But no, I don't read anything. I just try and go in and experience it as purely as possible.
woohoo.
Yeah, and I think if you know monsters are due on Maple Street and Time Enough at Last, I think those are episodes that are pretty prominent. So you kind of already know the ending to it for the most part. But I think an episode like this, especially if you don't read anything, I think it actually is more effective than when you do read anything about it, because I'll be fairly honest, I knew kind of where the story was heading after I was watching it. I'm like, okay, I see what's going to happen here. But if you don't think about it, it's actually quite a interesting ending, to be fairly honest. But I mean, we'll get to that. But I mean, do you guys agree, I guess, with that? Like, sometimes these episodes don't need, you just kind of want to go in blind because they're a lot better off.
I think you try and approach it, at least as looking at it from the podcast perspective. I think you do try to go in the way that someone who is seeing it for the first time, does. Like, we always talk about, this is a concept that's been done time after time now, but you take it back to 1959 through 65, and there was blowing people's minds because it was the first time they'd seen anything like it, or it was something that was relatively new.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm coming from too. Now, as far as like the ending, I guessed fairly early on, once we see what the thing is for the episode, the time travel gimmick, or not gimmick, but angle, I figured fairly quickly. I was like, yeah, I know where this is going to go. However, where it did go, like the inevitable end, the actual end of it, how that whole thing panned out, I didn't see that coming. I mean, I don't really know how you could. I mean, didn't know that this other person is going to arrive. That part of it, I didn't see that, but the whole,
you
where
thought it
his
was gonna be one
desires end up
person.
going, I was like,
Yeah. I also meant to say this is production code 173-3628, air date April 1st. Funny. This is such a funny episode, such a prank of 1960.
Hilarious.
So they were
Very.
all aboard on that, April Fool's Day, I'm sure, which I don't think was created till like the 70s or something like that. Let me look that up.
Was it not?
When was
Well, we got a
April
few
Fool's?
things like that in this one. Hey, when was this thing a thing?
All
My notes too.
right, I'm trying to look when it was
gonna
Looks like
say
been
off the
since, like
cuff.
the 1500s. I may have been way off.
Well, and I think
You're a
it's
little off.
become I think it's become like it's something that was probably always, sort of a thing, but like they kind of go in and out of vogue. Like you look at like Black Friday,
Mhm.
that was a thing that people did, but it wasn't like an event. It's become an event. And I think that April Fool's Day has probably done that in the same way. So
Oh, I mean, to be fair, Morbius is coming on April Fool's Day, so I mean that's definitely the joke of the year. So
Shit, no, it's not.
I have no idea.
I think it's funny that they're releasing on April Fool's Day, but that's just meh.
Because they're not going to. How many release days does that movie have? Well, okay, we're getting off track.
But the final trailer is like Monday.
It's at 15 release dates.
It
It's
really
like
has,
Top Gun Maverick.
That movie exists. Oh my god. So
Yeah,
anyways,
supposedly a trailer exists.
yeah.
so this movie opens up in 1880, November. I think it was November. I have it written down somewhere in my many pages of notes. November 14th, 1880. And Mr. Joe Caswell is about to be hanged for murdering the son of a individual that's actually in this episode, which I can't remember which character it is, but
Son of a preacher man.
exactly.
I don't know.
It opens.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say Caswell's victim's like dad. He kind of reminded me of the comment section. He's over there like yelling, you're gonna die. Glad you're dying. You're an asshole.
And then he's like, I'll see you in hell, or I'll see you in another time. So anyway, so that's when the opening narration happens. It happens pretty quickly in this episode. So
Commonplace, if somewhat grim, unsocial event known as a necktie party. The guest of dishonor, a cowboy named Joe Caswell. Just a moment away from a rope, a short dance several feet off the ground, and then the dark eternity of all evil men. Mr. Joe Caswell, who, when the good Lord passed out a conscience, a heart, a feeling for fellow man, must have been out for a beer and missed out. Mr. Joe Caswell, in the last quiet moment of a violent life.
So Mr. Joe Caswell seems like a stand-up individual. I mean, he seems like the kind of guy you would want to hang out with a beer until he shoots you for being angry at you, that type of thing.
You want to hang out with.
do you suppose that he's do you suppose he's like the great grandfather of the guy from The Four of Us Are Gonna Die?
I mean, possible.
The four of us are dying.
Yeah, Four of Us Are Dying.
He sure did love those Dutch
I mean,
angles in
they
this
go to-
episode. So
I just
They
mean
do,
that
they go
like
to some of the same streets.
yeah. Well, I just mean that like the way that Serling like talks about him. He basically says Joe Caswell is the son of a bitch.
that's exactly how he said it too.
Yeah.
He's like drunk and smoking a cigarette. He's like, oh, God, a son of a bitch.
I made up all that shit I said. That was the opening narration. Commonplace. Necktie party. Joe Caswell's a son of a bitch. Fucking asshole.
So
Fuck
Jacob,
my wife and left me this illegitimate child.
Oh, shit. There's actually some good lexicon stuff in this episode too, which I was really happy about.
Hell yeah.
So basically Joe Caswell is about to be hanged. He's about to come to the end of his life. They don't offer him, the last meal. They just said, fuck you, we're gonna hang you, and Joe Caswell's go kiss my nutsack, and it all goes down. And that's
actually, Nick.
Yeah, actually.
He doesn't say kiss my nutsack. He says, I'll do a jig for you, Pappy, like a puppet.
Exactly. Which
I
is
thought
awesome.
he said a puppy. I was so confused.
Oh, is that?
Or he said, I'll do a jig for a puppy. Or
No,
I'll
I
do a
think
jig
it
for
is
you,
a-
Pappy, like a puppy.
I think it
I
is
mean,
like
who
a
knows?
puppet. I think it is like a puppet because that makes more sense. Like puppies don't generally do jigs.
They could.
I mean,
I mean,
you
if
don't
you hang
know.
one, you never know.
Okay, fine. I don't know,
What
but I'm.
happened? I got one in the backyard. Let's go find out.
But then the judge is like, he's such a disease. Kevin, you're such a disease. Hang him. Oh man. So he's
Hang that
at the
bitch.
Yeah,
exactly. But he's about to be hanged, and then we see his shadow, and the shadow disappears because apparently he's a hedgehog and he doesn't see a shadow anymore. And all the people around, all the cowboys are like, oh my God, it's a miracle. The priest is like, save me, Jesus. It's a miracle. The guy's disappeared. They're so confused. And yeah, this guy
I
has
like how none
disappeared
of
from-
them were looking at him when it happened. They were looking
No,
at his shadow. And then like it happened and they go, where'd he go? I'm like, were you not looking at him when he hung? Why were you all looking over here? Were they like just like, oh, I don't want to watch? Oh shit, he's
Because-
gone.
Because 60s TV, they don't allow that shit.
Yeah,
I know, right?
I guess.
And so in essence, this story is called Execution because he's going to be hanged, but it's really the execution of a man who creates a time machine. And this time machine is actually quite amazing because it's just like a glass, I don't know, crystal looking thing. And
It's the teleportation device from The Fly.
Yeah,
is that what it
basically,
is?
it's a precursor to that.
Yeah,
It looks like
except
what is it?
I mean, it's glass.
What is it? Not a terranium? Terranium?
Tourette's?
Terrarium?
Okay.
No,
yeah,
it's like
that
a
too.
thing that they put like
like
little
growing plants.
like little
terrarium.
yeah, terrarium. Thank you.
See, I knew I was smart for some reason by saying terrarium.
Yay. Woohoo.
So oh yeah, first of all, he also says he shot a man in the back. He wants the hanging to feel it. Like this guy's like, I really want to see this guy hang. Just hang him. I need some hanging today. So yeah, but anyways, he disappears and he wakes up, and what's actually kind of clever about this episode is he wakes up and he has the rope burns on his neck and he's actually struggling to breathe, which I actually thought was pretty kind of crazy if you think about it. But he wakes up, and that's when we're introduced what I was.
I get it now. I didn't get I made note about his demeanor when he came.
Oh
to.
yeah. He was
Oh,
like
yeah.
The faces he
struggling.
was
He's like,
making. I saw the
Yeah.
rope burn.
Mhm.
I saw the rope burn. It didn't click with me because I'm, dumb. But like I was watching it, and like I just thought he just came to, and he's all going. I was like, wow, he's having a good time. What are the effects of this time travel thing or teleportation, whatever it is? They give you the tinglies in the nether regions or something because he was like,
no, this is how.
But yeah, now he was trying to breathe. That makes
Yep.
sense.
That's why his voice was so raspy too.
Yeah, this is where
Oh,
Zack
yes,
Snyder
you
got
know, I
his
didn't think
idea.
of that.
Yeah.
for Superman. Yeah, that.
Oh.
Oh man. As I've said, this guy, Professor Mannion, who's not ever said his name, so I call him Future Man because how the hell am I supposed to know his name? I'm not gonna go looking on Wikipedia like I should be doing because Wikipedia is always truthful in the name givings and stuff. And basically, he tells
Future
him,
Man's a better name anyway.
Yeah.
What's up?
Exactly.
Oh, Future Man. Yes, I agree. Then Mannion. Mannion is a boring
I like
name.
it.
Fuck
I like
Mannion. So he wakes up and Mannion, Future Man, whatever you want to call him, he tells him you're the first guy to time travel and you time travel 80 years into the future. I was like, okay, cool. You don't actually see it happen, because it's the 60s and they don't have very much money for special effects at this point. But he's just kind of like, he doesn't know what's real. He doesn't know what's going on. His probably brain's all scrambled and shit. And this is when Mannion kind of lets him look outside the window, and we'll talk about it later. But there's some interesting window and dropping out of windows and glass and glass phone booths and shit. But yeah, anyways, he looks out and it's like,
Yeah, the phone booth
he
was
says,
the best.
what's that? Oh yeah, that phone booth. Yeah, we'll get to that. But he he looks out the window and it's like, I thought that was like taking place in the 40s, but Mannion says it takes place 80 years in the future. And there's some kind of confusion, I guess. Like the Mannion or Caswell kind of like falls over, passes out or whatever. He just, can't handle the whole situation. But this is where we get like Mannion basically using his dictaphone or whatever, the recorder, to kind of explain that he doesn't really believe this.
Oh,
what's up?
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
My brain, I don't know. I'm hearing words tonight. You said, I swear you said, this is where he uses his dictaphone. And I was like, what? I had to think of a dictaphone. Like, yeah, I know what you mean now, but like just like the whole rope thing didn't catch on. That's where my mind is. He's using his dictaphone. Just saying. Oh, also real quick, while we've paused for this reason, I would like to point out before he looks out the window, Future Man offers Coswell a cigarette, And yeah, he's like, okay, yeah, he goes to get it. And he busts out a lighter, a Zippo lighter, and he lights it.
He's like,
and he's like, oh my God,
He
fire!
turns into-
You have fire!
and
I was thinking-
fire from nothing or
I
fire
was
from
like,
air.
did he come from the caveman era? Because lighters existed in 1880. And while, I mean, yeah, matches, it's not like, even if you didn't have them, they were a known property. They came around. I looked it up because I was like, I don't want to say that if it sounds stupid. They were invented in 1823. It's 1880. Even if he didn't have them, he had to have known of them.
He was very
Just
rural.
saying, he had to have seen them or something. I don't know. But anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there. But yeah, he was blown away by fire. I have created fire. Yeah.
One real quick other
Yeah.
thing. So the tape recorder that they used retailed for $250.
The dictaphone.
The dictaphone. Actually,
Yeah,
that was it.
I mean, I'll do it for $5 right now.
Yeah.
the price of recording devices has not gone down in the last 70 years or whatever it's been. Still paying $250 for recording devices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But actually, that's the question I have.
Do they go dictaphone?
No, that came.
feels
Dictaphone is
sexist.
kind of like ass to mouth.
Yeah, that's the sequel to Ass to Mouth. Is dictaphone.
Nice.
That's what Freddy Krueger does as sex toy. It's dictaphone.
Well, he's got the phone with the tongue
Yeah.
thing on it. So
Yeah. Oh man.
Dude,
Actually,
that's a
someone
whole
created-
different thing. That's phone to. Oh, go ahead.
that's going to
No,
ass.
But no, the question I have is, does this guy pass out because he kind of wakes up later on and kind of walks back into the science room or whatever? So I can't remember if he actually passes out.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
he kind of.
He said that he put him down for a nap or whatever, like he's a baby on his dictaphone. He says like he was acting like he was tired, so I put him down for rest or whatever.
My assumption is that going through that much time, like one, not being able to breathe, two, just the overwhelming, like, what the hell's going on? And three, probably just, I don't know. Yeah. Just the idea of seeing fire in a Zippo light form might have just overwhelmed him.
Because the future man talks into the dicto recorder, the dicto recorder, says he was
Rectum recorder.
Yes. But he says he was Caswell says he was a rancher in 1940, November 14th, 1880. And I like how he basically says it's a 19th century primitive in a 20th century jungle.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, this guy's fucking cruel to Caswell. It's like, Caswell, you don't know this guy, but you don't like him already. So like, what was he expecting when he did this time travel and he hit 1880? Was he expecting to get like, I don't know, Abraham Lincoln or some shit or whoever in fucking 1880? I'm pretty sure like it was dead by then, but who the fuck was he expecting to get?
Yeah,
Come on.
Abraham Lincoln was dead.
Well, and the question is like, was it just like a random? What was it? A random cast into time and space, and he would just pull back whoever did, or did he specifically set up that day?
Leap?
Well, no, but
Quantum
that's
time
what it looks
travel?
like, but yeah, exactly. But that's like what that's the big question. Like, did he specifically pick that day, or was it just like a random date that happened to, like he just kind of cast his net out into time and managed to find this guy?
Is this where Bob Gale got his idea for Back to the Future? He's like, hey, that guy picked 1880, so I'm gonna pick 1955. I mean, I don't know.
It might have.
It's a little weird to me personally, but
Well, you look at
And then
you look at
1885 later on.
yeah.
yeah, this is
Well,
5 years
and
before
two,
Doc Brown.
They're looking for, at least from a practical perspective, they've got sets for the Old West. So,
Mhm.
hanging by the old hanging tree, go for it.
And so when we come back to the whole idea of Caswell with the future man guy, the future man doctor, this is where, as I texted to you guys, which I thought you guys had seen the episode, but Caswell goes, he was beat with the difference in his back with a wet rope. Yeah, you got beat with that wet rope, I'm sure. That was some weird stuff
I
going on.
reworded it slightly from the lexicon just to
I
get
can't wait to-
context. I said, beat the difference in between right and wrong with a wet rope.
There you go.
But yeah, I didn't put the back on there. Yeah, I guess you beat the difference in my back between. I don't know. I'm rolling with that. We're beating
You're gonna-
things with wet ropes.
And dictaphones.
That's all that matters.
Exactly.
And dictaphone. Oh, Man, I wish that was in the. I really want to put dictaphone on there, but
See, this is why we need that time machine, so you can tell Rod Serling to put dictaphone in there.
It might be in there someplace.
Yeah.
There's a like that.
Maybe.
There's the one episode where he speaks into the thing, and a little piece of paper comes out, and then he like it brings things to life. He could be dictating or dictaphoning.
Exactly. So this is the point where
something.
I mean, in that episode, he creates a woman, so he could be dictaphoning her.
Exactly.
Yeah, dick to something. Dick to her.
Dictopus.
Yeah, dick to soccer and a puss. Soccer and the dick puss. Wait a minute. We're on a whole nother level now.
We've gone to plaid.
Oh God.
It's going straight to plaid.
Yeah. We passed ludicrous speed. We passed ludicrous. No, what was it? We passed ludicrous speed and went straight to ridiculous. No, we passed ridiculous and went to ludicrous.
Yeah. Plaid.
Wow.
Ludicrous speed. Go, sir. Shouldn't you buckle up? Buckle this. Ludicrous speed. Go.
My eyes are going in the back of my skull. So anyways, Caswell mentions he has beat and killed over 20 men, and Future Man is going to send Caswell back to the moment he disappeared. But this is when Caswell basically starts beating the hell out of Future Man, and then socks him in the puss with his right fist or whatever, and he falls down, and then he beats him the hell with the lamp. So that guy's dead. He gone.
Yep.
And
you missed one of the fun lexicon things. At one point in that last bit, he calls him a Johnny come lately.
This is jeez.
Johnny come somewhere.
Yeah.
Dictaphone.
I call my puss lately.
Also,
Johnny come lately.
Lately. On a serious note, I mean, as serious as we could, I do want to say that the part where he says, where the guy decides, this is a bad dude, we got to send him back because this isn't a good idea having him here. He's a killer. He's got the rope burns, all that. I like that. Like, yeah, that's good. However, when he all alone in this dark room with this murderer that he's figured out is like this psychopath or a dangerous human being from a time when he, bad shit happened, that he tells this guy to his face, just all calm, I'm going to have to send you back to your death. I'm like, I think I would have kept that to myself.
Yeah.
I think I just probably wouldn't have said anything to him about that and been like, hey, come over here. I need to run a test real quick before we go outside. No, he's like, I'm going to send you back. What the fuck did you expect to happen?
See,
hell yeah, he knocked the fuck out of his ass with that lamp.
This is what happens when exposition is let loose. Like, this is why we don't like exposition. Ultimately, it ends in having a lamp smashed over your head.
That's what happened. That's what Syndrome and Incredible said. He got caught monologuing. So hey, he paid the price with his puss. So he got socked in the puss and then killed. This is a very dark episode if you think about it. It's very dark and disturbing. To be fairly honest, like one guy disappears, gonna be taken back to hang. This guy gets knocked over the head with a lamp and he dies because I thought he was gonna. I honestly thought he was going to be the one that gets at the end shot back to 1880, but that's not what happens. And then Caswell takes the gun. Apparently this Future Man has a gun for whatever reason and runs out of the building. And the dictograph is talking about how 19th century primitive and a 20th century jungle. And that's the end of the act. So guy got socked in the puss, got wet roped, dicto recorder, century primate in a 20th century jungle. I mean,
there's a guy called Johnny that comes lately.
Exactly. So what do you guys think of the episode? What do you think of the first act of this episode?
I really enjoyed, this is one of those episodes that it's a solid Twilight Zone to me. I really enjoy it. And I guess I've not seen it in a bit, but it still kind of sticks as one of those episodes. It's just it kind of, because you're right, it is a dark episode, and it definitely, it has those moments of levity, but it still does kick your ass as far as like being something that's more serious and where it ends. And it's a more, not to say that all of Twilight Zone isn't somewhat a morality thing, but this one really personifies the morality aspect of things, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the biggest, that's the big thing here is, repercussions for reactions, judgment, not judgment, justice, how we all get justice. To comment on what Nick said about how he thought that where he thought the ending was going, as soon as he was all like, I want to get out there and see the world and blah 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 blah, but he was like shocked by all this new stuff. I was like, yeah, I see, like, basically what happened, his turnaround, how he, his what he wanted, his wants and needs, how they turned around. I knew that was going to happen. I was like, yeah, that's what's going to happen. But I didn't know, like I said earlier, I didn't know the other thing was going to happen. But I did like the episode up to this point. I was kind of wondering, while I may know the end game, which I kind of did, I am curious to see how it's all going to work out and what's going to happen when he gets out into this world, and what Twilight Zone world is he going to get out into? Because we never fucking know. Is he going to go out into the Four of Us Are Dying world, this kind of surreal Dutch angle Neon Light world, or is he going to go into the, hitchhiker, or not hitchhiker, the Nan Adams world? Which, that's all I could think. When he went on the street, I was like, yep, here she comes. But that may have been what blew him out of the back of that fucking phone booth, though, honestly.
Yeah. Well,
she sideswiped it.
Well, I was gonna say, like, that was coming in the second act, but the episode starting out, it actually, this whole episode, like a lot of times you say, Jacob, is it's actually kind of even. There's a lot of like good stuff in the beginning, and there's a lot of great stuff in the end. So there's not like top heavy or bottom heavy. There's, Nan Adams coming at him twice, that type of thing, which is a fun thing to watch, how she can switch sides of the street so quickly. But I think overall it's an episode that at least is tempting to be very heady and sci-fi and trying to be fun and entertaining, but also have a message about being careful what you do and who you piss off and who you kill, and don't ever bring back people from the 1880s back into the 1960s, because it always gets you socked in the puss, that type of thing. But
with a lamp.
I know. That must have been one heavy ass lamp to kill him,
Yeah. Well, and poor Future Man ended up being. Oh, good. Sorry.
No, you go.
I'm just gonna make a dumb comment about how the Coswell came from the 1880s to the 1960s, and Future Man kind of got knocked back into the Stone Age with that lamp.
Well, I made a note about the lamp too. Here's to give you guys inside baseball on my notes. Here's how intricate and in detail they are. After the part where I made note of, I'm going to send you back, and that I probably would have kept that to myself. My next note was, God damn, he knocked the fuck out of him with that lamp. So yeah, I take very detailed notes. Just saying. But he did, man. That fucking lamp, he like took a bow, like it exploded. I was like, shit, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shit that Coswell goes through in the and this is way worse than what hitting by a lamp. I mean, that lamp must be fucking concrete, that type of thing. But
they don't build them like they used to, man. This
apparently not.
You didn't buy that shit at IKEA.
No. Real quick random question. So when he wakes up and through this, I guess his only outfit through this whole episode, what did you guys think of his outfit? And I guess maybe that's more of a question for the end, but what would you have defined? Like, he really wasn't dressed like a cowboy, right? He was dressed like, generally speaking, normal clothes for the time. Like his clothes got changed or something, right?
I think there's a misconception that cowboys looked exactly like, because there's that funny joke that we see. It's not really funny, but there's that the thing that we see in the bar. But there's always this assumption that they dress like John Wayne or some shit. No, they dress like they had normal person clothes for the time. I mean, it's not like they were wearing the big chaps and shit that you see. And
he had like the pants, the pants, shirt, jacket, and gloves.
But was it the same outfit as he was when he was being hanged?
Yeah,
I think so. I did wonder though, when they hung him, did they not have his hands tied? Because he arrived, he had the rope burn and all that. Did the hands being tied either in front or behind his back not give that away that maybe not such a good guy? But he didn't say anything about it.
Did they ever show that wide of a shot of it? I don't remember.
I don't remember. I just figure if you're going to hang somebody, you usually tie their hands up, or they might be like, stop, don't kill me.
I mean, the horse thing was pretty on point, because I think they did kill a lot of people back in the day with the horse. Man, now I have to go back and check that out because now it's going to bother me. You know, when you look up the Twilight Zone execution, because I wanted to see if there's anything in this, it brings up a bunch of people getting executed. I don't like that. I swear to God, it's not. Yeah, he has his hands behind. He has his hands behind his back.
Okay. I guess the reason I asked about clothing was because I didn't remember what he was wearing, and I thought his clothes got changed to be slightly more modern. Because they keep referring to him as a cowboy, and it's like looking at his attire, I would not have thought cowboy. And I know that's for emphasis on what he is, but it was just like, oh, you're not going to say hey guy or whatever, just like hey cowboy.
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures. It looks the same.
Okay, never mind then.
Yeah.
Apologies, you can cut this or whatever you need to do for this part. So
no, it's fine. Like it's one of sometimes you have those questions, and that's why you have me to check. So
yay, my hero.
But Nick does have a point. That is where they didn't dress like that traditional like John Wayne. He said it, and I was thinking it too, like John Wayne, or even like the guy in the bar on the TV at the end of the episode, or closer to the end of the episode. That was like Hollywood's version of cowboys. Cowboys just wore pants and shirt, maybe a hat because it was hot as fuck outside. But beyond
protect
that,
your head,
and gloves. Yeah, I mean he was dressed like a rancher would be, I guess. Even though he wasn't a rancher, he was a fucking murderer. But whatever.
Exactly. Which is kind of funny because you remember the last episode last week, they fucking wearing Roman clothes and shit. It's like sometimes the Twilight Zone gets it correct. Sometimes they put you in Roman clothes,
Yep. With really, really, really short skirts.
Hey.
Yeah.
When in Rome.
And that's been dad jokes for 2022. Shit. So we come back to Act 2, and Caswell, of course, runs into the Four of Us Are Dying street with neon signs and, of course, Dutch angles, because we got to be scared in the Twilight Zone because there's Dutch angles, because that automatically means spooky and scary and skeletons and all that good stuff. And we, of course, have to have the music from Star Trek.
Though, I will say that much.
Yeah. It's a cool way to do mood in a show, is having Dutch angles. So unless you're Michael Bay.
Well, that one episode, the Four of Us Are Dying, it's like every angle is a Dutch angle, so it loses its its potency. But like in this one, he was supposed to be very disoriented, and I thought of that as soon as I saw it, because I saw that street and I was like, it's the Four of Us Are Dying and a fucking Dutch angle. Oh my god! And then I was like, but it kind of makes sense here because he is disoriented, and that's what Dutch angles are supposed to kind of throw your way, to throw you off a bit. And they didn't stick with it the rest of the episode, or I would have been like, Jesus Christ, it's fucking Four of Us Are Dying.
But they must have gotten the Star Trek music for cheap, because that's in here too. So
well, it's the same. CBS owned these are both on CBS, so they were both from that. So, and the globe was used in Forbidden Planet as well. So,
interesting.
A lot of stuff from Forbidden Planet.
So Nan Adams seems to be doing double time in this episode, trying to kill a lot of people, because she almost hits him twice, going one side of the street to the other side of the street. Just like, can you imagine? She's driving down the road, she almost hits Caswell, and then she's like doing fucking Fast and the Furious and turning around and trying to hit him again.
Okay, but in that same thing, he pulled a gun on her.
Yeah, she said, "Oh
no, you
don't know who the fuck I am, motherfucker." I'm Nan motherfucking Adams. You go pull a gun on me? And I think he shot. I don't know if he shot the car or just at it. She was pissed. She was like, you know what? All right, you go ahead and do your thing. I was going to make it easy for you. I was going to take you out real quick, nice and easy and clean. Go on, go do your thing. Let's see what the fuck happens, you little piece of shit motherfucker.
So the real question is this the end of Nan Adams? Do we have to play the In the Arms of the Angel song? Donate $10 to save Nan Adams? Is she gone?
You don't end Nan Adams.
No.
She ends
Nan Adams ends you.
I will.
You better watch out talking like that when you go out tomorrow in the street.
Oh man, I've
56
Miami
come flying around the fucking corner. Yeah, Miami, it'll have hydraulics.
You'll hear Rod Serling in the background somewhere, just like Stranger Than Fiction. You're like, what is that noise? Nan Adams? And you'll do the fucking get hit by the car and shoes fly off and shit.
And Willem scream.
Coming. Pudding shoulders.
Get sucked in the puss.
Yep.
So I know phones weren't really when did when did phones really start coming around? It was
Yes,
like
sir.
early 1900s.
Phones were, yeah.
Well, no,
1876. That is when the phone
1976.
was created. 1876. 1876.
18. Okay, so I have a question for you.
I made that. Phones existed.
You know what I'm going at. Go ahead and say it, because you know where I'm going with this, because I was really kind of confused by this scene. I was not confused about what I was kind of confused about why he went out the glass, but like the phone's ringing. You don't know it's a phone. Are you really that confused?
Well, okay, here's the thing though, and this is like fictional world brain kicking in. But okay, so 1876 you said is when phones started up.
Well,
if they're out in the middle of,
that's when they became popular. That's when they got popular. They actually existed long before that, but they didn't like get popular. That's when the world as a whole, that's when Alexander Graham Bell did his thing and all that. 1876 was when this new big phone thing was known to the whole fucking earth.
Okay,
that's when everybody didn't have them, but everybody knew of them.
But here's the thing: you're talking about what is in theory a very rural area in the Old West. We're basically told that, yeah. So even though you might have an idea of what a thing is, like look at someone working with a fax versus like you have someone in the like 80s that deals with a fax, and then you get them to a modern day computer or cell phone or whatever, and they're dealing with email. Even though you understand the basis of what something is, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to see it in that incarnation and understand what it is. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, two things. First of all, yes, you're right. That could be it, but I don't know if that shock and awe of seeing this thing in action that you do know exists is going to blow you out of the back of a fucking phone booth.
I put like way out of the booth, like it's
no,
out of the back of it.
That's true. I would assume it was that on top of everything else. Now, regarded this, definitely like I can believe the phone thing over the fire thing, because the fire thing was like Frankenstein level, like goofy. But yeah, I agree with you.
Well, the phone also, I know they existed in these towns because I've played The Town with No Name, and it featured phone lines in it, and it I'm sure took place around the same time.
Were they phone lines or were they telegram lines or telegraph lines? Because there's a difference.
You're really pulling the wind out of my sails here, Trish.
You're right, I am.
Trish can change your mind in a heartbeat.
I'm good at that shit.
It was in The Town with No Name, and that game is accurate, history accurate.
It's just like the flying, the interstellar train there too.
Yes, that was a thing. Just because you haven't seen it doesn't make it
real.
I have
seen it. I watched your damn video.
No, just because you haven't seen it in real life.
Okay. You're gonna go down the route of Back to the Future 3. Is that what you're going with?
Yeah. Holy shit.
I mean, clearly, you know, with the parts that Doc Brown had, he can definitely make a flying train, you know.
I'm not doubting that. I mean, but this guy is a dumbass who gets put off by fire. I don't think we're talking on the same level as Doc Brown.
I don't know. Doc Brown got scared of fucking
It's a 2001 A Space Odyssey moment.
Yeah. He's a fucking caveman all of a sudden. I was like, it's a lighter. Those exist. They were fairly commonplace. Anyway.
Tension, people, tension.
Either way, the phone booth thing was hilarious. But not the first time someone got themselves locked in a phone booth. Where is everybody? The guy in that also got himself stuck in a phone booth.
Did it? Oh yeah, he did.
I just like how dramatic he falls out the fucking phone booth. It's like
he gets thrown out of the phone booth, but there's nobody there to throw him out.
If there's a ghost.
He is like Michael Bay blown out the back of that phone booth. Holy shit! What just happened? Did it blow up? Was there a bomb in there when he answered the phone? It was like that movie Phone Booth, the sequel or something. Like he answered the phone. It's like holy shit.
Well, the real question is like, who is calling this phone booth? like the lady hangs up the phone and then someone's calling him.
Well, and also back then, I don't even know if you could dial directly. You had to like get on the operator. What did somebody get with the operator and be like, operator, connect me with a phone booth at 25th and Main in this Twilight Zone city? Sure, click. What? who's calling phone booths back then?
Well, the lady that left the phone booth before Caswell came up to it, told whoever was on the other end to fuck off, and they were calling back to come up with a better insult.
They blew him out the window.
I didn't notice the lady. What it was. They did that thing I used to do back in high school when I'd be like at the mall or something and calling somebody. I'd call them collect 1-800-collect, call ATT, which is David Arquette, and I'd be like, it's say your message to the person. I'd be like, call me at this number, and then hang up and they call me back.
Nice.
Because I didn't have any money. Yeah.
That's a good reason.
I guess I was the only one.
No, the town I grew up in didn't have phone booths. We weren't that sophisticated.
Well, I don't know if I call phone booths sophisticated. They usually get pissed in by homeless people and stuff in the city. So
no, I get it.
I was in a hurry because I had like a time limit, and also it smelled like ass in there.
Oh man, the shit that I found at one in London. Yeah, that never did another.
Hey, those are bigger on the inside there.
Yeah, exactly. Lots more room for shit in there.
Oh my god. I never knew this would go to shit and phone booths. I'm kind of proud of our podcast. We've gone to places where no man should ever go, and we'll ever go.
It wasn't the TARDIS. It wasn't the TARDIS. It was the Turtis.
The Turtis. Instead of it's like
so this
Sorry.
So we find Caswell he runs into a restaurant that looks like it's being closed for the night. And there's a cigar chomping bartender. And then like the apes in 2001, he starts beating the hell out of the jukebox because he doesn't like the noise. He's the Grinch of this episode. He's like, with all the noise. He just starts beating the hell out of it. And it's like, holy shit.
He did, man. He beat the fuck out of that jukebox like he did that guy's head with a lamp.
He went ham on
management problem. Yeah. He's anger management classes.
He did. And I mean, didn't they have those pianos that like played by themselves back in the day? Wouldn't he just like see this as a new version of that?
He's kind of antisocial.
He knocked the fucking whole front off that thing. Because that's why I killed so many people. I killed every person I ever met.
Like fucking Liam Neeson.
Basically, yeah.
That's too many questions.
But I love I actually kind of love the bartender because like you're gonna pay for that. And then of course he pulls out the gun. He's like, okay, I'm gonna give you free booze. And he gives him like 4 bottles of free booze. I'm like, this is the greatest bartender ever, because he's just gonna give this guy booze because he feels sorry for him. And I know there's a gun involved, but he's like, he just decides, hey, fuck it, I'm gonna give you 4 free bottles.
To do with that.
Yeah, it has quite a lot to do with that. Probably like 95% that.
But that's the thing.
Yeah,
like
the guy had some balls until he pulled out that gun.
Yeah.
Was
like, you gonna pay for that, right, buddy? Because if you're not, I gotta. You motherfucker! Oh, hey! I just playing. You know, fuck that jukebox. I never have liked it. It doesn't even bring in that much. It's more trouble. Thank you. I just want to say thank you. You did me a favor, honestly. You want a drink? You want another drink? I got you. Sit down. Take a load off.
Well, the even better part is there's a TV that's turned off. It turns on right to a channel that is a showdown of a gunman, and like Craswell's like, motherfucker, you come at me, I'm gonna shoot you. And he shoots the TV, and then the fucking the bartender goes, you're gonna pay for that, aren't you? I'm like, did he just not put the gun on the counter? You just gave him 4 fucking bottles of booze. He ain't paying for shit.
Exactly.
It was a TV though. TVs were a lot more expensive back then. But it's not really out of the realm of possibility that a Western was on, because I think that's all they made back then. Was Westerns and gangster movies.
I don't want to take any more wind out of your sails, so you know.
I want to hear more of what was going through Caswell's head when he saw that little midget man in the little window up on the up there on the wall, and he's coming at him saying, all right, partner, I'm gonna shoot you now. He pulls out his gun. He's like, oh no. I mean, really, this guy, I mean, from his perspective, if you really thought it was a window, the guy was like this big. I would be more amazed at like, who is this little man that's coming at me? I mean, how much damage is that little gun you have going to do there, buddy?
I mean, they do chalk it up to him being exhausted and like all of the noise, which it is actually sort of an interesting thing on the episode, because they do talk about, like, I guess it's not the main thing of the episode by any stretch, but how noisy modern life is versus what it would have been, you know, in the Old West. I think that was kind of interesting.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, can you imagine going back to that time and just being like, the fuck is this? Is this real life? Like you'd be so fucking scared going back to that time when there's no fucking cell phones and radio waves and internets and I mean
And they had
Jacob's like halfway there.
tuberculosis.
Tuberculosis, yeah.
Yeah, fun times.
Yeah. And
Cough
dysentery.
a lung out of your asshole.
Yeah,
You
you
died of
died by
dysentery.
dysentery.
I'm just
Now-
thinking,
now-
sitting there
Now if we go
coughing
back,
all of
we
a
have to,
sudden.
Well, no,
Shit
I
out
say-
of lung.
Which is gonna get me first? The dysentery or the tuberculosis or the broken fucking wagon wheel now?
I was just gonna say, do we have to take oxen over a fucking river? We have to float them across the river and they just drown. Or we have to save little
Your oxen
Annie
drown.
orphan.
I'm just thinking about the fact that I can only carry 100 pounds of beef or 100 pounds of meat back to my wagon, even though I killed like 3 buffalo.
And the
I'm not
rabbits
gonna
and
lie.
motherfuckers are all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had like this whole family and like you're the only person carrying the meat. It's like you're fucking 12 years old. Get over here and help you fucking shit. I don't care if you're dying of tuberculosis or
Hell yeah.
dysentery.
Got a lung halfway
then
sticking
12-year-olds
out of
were
my
like-
ass.
Go
Yeah.
on. I like how we
Yeah.
went from the Twilight Zone to Oregon Trail, just by the way.
You know what's ironic is we all probably played the Oregon Trail when we were fucking kids in school or shit.
Oh yeah.
I
Hell
know
yeah,
I
on them
did.
big fucking Apple
Yeah.
computers that
Yeah.
looked like giant Game Boys, and they had the monochrome green and black
Yep.
background.
With
The
actual
little
floppy
Oregon
disk.
Trail guy was like, "Nah, nah, 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 nah." What did that? Yeah, what did what did that fucking game? Because in school they only have educational games. What did that game educate us in besides what's dysentery? What was educational about that shit?
Even no matter how hard
know.
you try, you will ultimately die of
You're
dysentery
gonna die.
or syphilis.
Isn't dysentery like where you shit yourself to death or something like that?
Basically, your body doesn't take like whatever you drink goes right through you.
This game was created in the fucking 70s. Holy shit.
I believe it.
1971.
I played it in elementary
But-
school, so I would have been like 1871. Holy shit! What?
Wait, did I say 1870? No, but it was like it
Yeah.
became popular in 1985.
Ah,
The Apple II.
cool. I always remember
Yeah.
the flying
Big,
toasters.
huge, 2.5 floppy. disks.
Those were awesome.
And we
Flying
gotta do a flashback podcast. Let's talk about flying toasters and dysentery. Oh, man,
Flying
the brave
toasters
little
cause
toaster?
dysentery.
that's right.
There was like a vacuum cleaner on the brave little toaster.
Shit. So, anyways, he runs out, and this is when he shoots Nan Adams, and Nan Adams like, "You ain't gonna shoot shit, motherfucker!" And he runs back into I'm surprised he's able to find the laboratory. How he's able to get back there because he doesn't seem like a guy that knows. He doesn't even understand what fire is apparently. So where he gets back to the laboratory pretty quickly. So, and
He probably followed a neon lights.
Yeah.
maybe
Probably one that
Says
said laboratory. Future
What?
man.
time travel.
One kind of fun thing, real quick, and it's kind of a really obscure thing, but when he leaves the bar, right next to it, there's like a place called Jim Henry's Paradise. The sign was used in Cabin in the Sky in 1943, which is like a pretty well-known like African American movie. It doesn't really relate to anything specifically. I just thought it was interesting.
I have never seen the movie, but I will keep that. I will put that in my list of shit that I haven't seen in past 1970, which is quite a bit apparently. So, anyways, he runs back in the Future Man's office, and where does this guy come from? Did he follow Caswell? Like he's just gonna rob this random location that it's just this guy, this Robert Paul, whatever his name is, just comes out of nowhere and just like, I'm gonna
Paul
rob
Johnson.
this. Yeah, Paul Johnson is like, I'm gonna rob this doctor because apparently I can't rob banks or some shit. It's like a way to get to the ending conclusion of this episode, but it's like he walks in and he's like, don't you think he's got a wall safe C and he's there to rob it, but he's there now. And of course,
Yeah,
Future
same.
Man's dead. Yeah, he's like a 1960s gangster, low life criminal, and then like the two get in a scuffle, and Caswell goes out the window, and then he's actually hanged. Which I'm like, holy shit, he actually hung Caswell. Caswell actually died because apparently this is a Final Destination movie, so death caught up to Caswell, and the Caswell gets knocked in the puss and he gets almost thrown through a window, and then he's hanging by a curtain rope. It's like, yeah, where's what's his face? Where's the Candyman at? What's his name?
Well, Nick,
yes,
that's because retribution is not subject to a calendar.
Apparently.
Nice.
It's,
good use of stuff.
Yeah.
Justice can span years.
So here's a question I have for you though. So you're a robber and you see a bunch of buttons and lights and switches. Do you just start flicking switches? Are you like a little 6-year-old and you just love buttons and switches, and do you really think this is going to open up a wall safe? I mean, like I'm like, didn't anything in history ever teach you never to touch things that may actually transport you to get hung? That type of thing. I don't know. It's such a weird ending to an episode that has like a great story to it. And he turns on all the buttons and he's like, oh, I'm going to walk into this random fly, whatever, trapezoid room. Yeah, pod. And he's like the pod comes down on him, and all of a sudden he, fades out. He transports through fade out to basically the past to 1880. And he okay, if you're transported to the past to the hangman's rope, are you automatically dead, or would you start choking to death once you transported to that rope? Because he's automatically dead when he transports. It's like, does time travel kill you when you go back to that point? Like, is this I guess I mean, I understand he would eventually die, but when you go back in time and you start hanging and they can like rescue you, but he goes back and he's officially dead, which maybe he broke his neck. I don't know.
I just kind of took it as
it took him the instant before he broke his neck, so I guess he arrived the instant that his neck broke.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's kind of how I took it. Was he picked up those circumstances that were being left at? I would assume, or that's what they're supposed to be saying.
Like when Sam,
I get where they were going with it, where like they were trying to like have this, bad shit happens to bad people, and retribution and all that. But I was just gonna say, yeah, he did. He went in there and he just pushed a bunch of fucking buttons. There's like 5,000 buttons in here. He punched a bunch of them. He just happened to push the exact he's like a savant. He doesn't know it. He pushed just the right buttons to go back to this exact precise moment that he needed to go to. Or that machine is like the most user-friendly time machine in history. Well, ever. It's the only one. And this doctor set it up to where I've got all these fucking buttons in here, but we don't need them. You only need these 2 or 3 that this guy's going to hit. So, but hey, I understand why they had to do it. They needed him to, he needed to die.
My thought sort of is, and this is again, I'm going with fictional logic brain things, but like dude kind of thought he was immortal. So he just like, he's screwing around looking at crap and like Stimpy from Ren and Stimpy in the space episode. He just like the button draws him, like there's a big pulsating red button and he must press it. Yeah. And he's like, nothing's gonna happen to me. I'm this low cranky criminal that sucks ass and just killed a guy and busted a window, but I didn't bust as much shit as he did. So yay.
That episode, I just gotta say that you're talking about there always spoke to me. Even as an adult, that big fucking red button that says "Do not touch." Oh yeah, you get touched.
Yeah,
I'm gonna touch you all over. So I sympathize with Stimpy there. But maybe that, Nick, I think you said a moment ago. I mean, who's gonna go in there and just hit all these buttons? Me? It's like I already killed a guy. With like I hung him with the world's strongest curtain string, because mine would have just come the fuck down. I mean, he would have died anyway because he would have hit the ground. But I've already killed somebody. I'm robbing a place. There's a whole bunch of buttons here. Fuck it. Let's go for this shit.
I would have probably looking for the beer tap or something. I don't know.
Yeah. The power of curiosity, I guess, is stronger than the power of logic, especially if you're playing into emotions from that part. He just just came off of adrenaline of killing a guy. He's not really going to be in his right mind to do so. And I don't know.
I don't have a problem with the not right mindset. I have a problem with the fact that he just started hitting buttons, and like Jacob said, He hit the right button. He was like, out of the 6,000 buttons that are there, he hit the right one. It's like when Homer and The Simpsons had a nuclear meltdown, and he just got lucky. He just meeny, miny, mo, and pressed a button. It's like, okay, TV logic is at its finest, I don't know. I still love this
He needed him
episode
to
though.
die.
Yeah. but that's what I was talking about like earlier. Like, did you guys think maybe like Future Man was going to go back and be the one that hanged, or did you expect this random robber to come in to be the one that I mean, he kills someone, so he's not innocent. Like, they start questioning at the end of the episode. They go, "Did we hang an innocent man then?" And I said, "I hope to God not." And then Paul Johnson's put on the horse. But did you guys think that just some random robber would be the one that goes back and be? That's what I was thinking. I was thinking the Future Man would be the one that accidentally goes back to be hanged. That would be something like, "Oh shit, that's fucked up," that type of thing. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
I guess I've seen the episode probably 5 or 6 times over the course of my life, so I can't tell you what I thought the first time out. But yeah, it's like when you have a story or like a horror movie where the guy that does it like comes in at the last minute, and there's no way in hell you would have guessed that this random person would have come in and did it. So from that perspective, I think you would have been really hard pressed to be able to figure out that it was going to be a random robber dude that shows up with 3 minutes to spare.
Yeah, I did not see that coming, because how could you? I didn't necessarily think that the Future Man was going to go back and into his place, but I do. When I say I knew what was going to happen, I knew that Cosmo was eventually going to be like, he's all about, oh, I want to see this place, all the stuff he told me about. But I was like, yeah, he's going to change that mind real quick, and he's going to come up and want to get back, and for some reason he's not going to be able to. Or I thought he was going to say, hey, just put me, this ain't for me, man, just put me back on the rope. I didn't know that he would get thrown out of a window on the world's strongest curtain rod cord, and that some, what do they call it, minor league criminal was going to come in and then go back and get hung. So yeah, that threw me for a loop. But I'm with
Paul
you.
Johnson.
I enjoyed this episode.
Paul Johnson wakes up in the morning to be hanged. He just doesn't know it yet. It is 3:05 in the morning in 1960. I don't know. It's really weird. It's like really cool to think about this. It's just fucked up how fucked up the situation is. Like I said, it's a really dark episode. But with that said, before we get into the closing narration, do you guys feel that there's any themes for this episode that is prevalent, or do you feel this is just one of those episodes that Rod Serling was drunk one day? He's like, you know what we should do? We should bring a guy back from the 1800s who was being hanged, and then we'll just fucking hang someone random guy at the end of the episode.
I think they were trying to go outside the box with it, because like of all the ways that you could have thought for that guy to go out, being hung by a blind cord would be probably the last thing you'd think of actually happening. Because you'd think, oh, he'll go back and end up getting hanged, or something will kill him outright. But for that, for it to, like you said, to final destination him in a way, death did catch up with him and it kicked his ass. And this other random dude that we're told is just a minor criminal. I mean, he did kill a guy, but did he deserve that fate? I mean, I don't know. Maybe Rod Serling knew a guy named Paul Johnson, and he was like, you know what? Paul Johnson is a son of a bitch. I'm gonna kill his ass.
Son of a bitch.
God,
and
Paul Johnson, son of a bitch.
There are some Star Trek beeps and boops noises in that when he turns on the machine. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, I heard those. I think the theme to the episode is kind of like karma. Bad. You put bad stuff out in the world, and it's going to come back to you. You're going to get it. And retribution, of course. I mean, they say that one outright. And justice, you can't get away from it. And I mean, it's pretty blatant, and just put there in the ending narration, talking about justice can span years. You do shit like that. If you're a shitty ass person, then shitty things are going to happen to you, and you're going to get yours. And both those guys, like, Coswell obviously was a shithead, and he got his. He ended his life, still ended at the end of a rope, just a smaller rope, 80 years later. And Johnson, who showed up out of nowhere, which we assume is a shitbag because he murdered someone, even though the person he murdered was a shitbag. But that, whatever, neither near here nor there. He was a taker of life, so he got his too. 80 years.
This is true. Oh, by the way, this episode is referenced in Back to the Future and Back to the Future Part 3.
Nice.
There you go. And
Really? I did not know that.
yeah, it's on IMDb apparently. Oh, and Russell Johnson, who plays the professor or plays the doctor, is the professor from Gilligan's Island.
Did he use a coconut
Oh.
to make the time machine?
Sure, he put it in the coconut.
Yay.
No, but he did
Uh.
use a coconut to make a cod piece he wore as he built the time machine. Just as a
Oh,
side
okay.
note.
Maybe the lamp was made out of a coconut, and that's why it kicked his ass so hard.
Probably some clippers are hard.
Mm-hmm.
I opened one a few weeks back. Needed a machete. Just saying, in a hammer.
Oof.
Albert Salmi was in Equality and Mercy, and of late, I think of Cliffordville. Two Twilight Zone episodes involving time travel and execution in Cliffordville. His characters are very unlikable, although that is not a case in Quality. So apparently he's in 3 episodes.
Wow.
Interesting.
This one really, like, just talking about how like things change from where character it was to where they are. There's the one episode that I think stars Buster Keaton, or it's someone, it was a silent movie star, and they brought them from 18 whatever, I think 1890 to again 1960. But he's like he's kind of the housekeeper for this scientist guy, and then he goes forward and he's gonna be like, oh, the world is perfect, I'm not gonna worry about anything, and he realizes how crap it is, and then he goes back to the calmness of that. And not that they end the same, but they kind of have a similar set of themes, just different sides of the coin.
All right, Jacob, reel us in. Let's do the closing narration. Oh, actually, so is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we end before we go to the closing narration? Was there any other things you wanted to bring up that I forgot about?
I don't think so.
No.
Don't screw with Nan Adams, because
solid
karma
episode.
will come drive up your back alley.
Wow.
Drive up your
Back
ass
alley.
and
Yep.
put a dick to phone.
Yep.
Shit. Okay. So yeah, hit us with closing narration.
This is November 1880, the aftermath of a necktie party. The victim's name? Paul Johnson, a minor league criminal and the taker of another human life. No comment on his death. Save this: justice can span years. Retribution is not subject to a calendar. Tonight's case in point, in the Twilight Zone.
So necktie party. That sounds like something David Carradine would like,
Oh,
little
too soon, or I don't know. He said it, people, not me. He's keeping it spicy up in here.
That he
I
did.
like it though. I like it.
You gotta keep the podcast lively. Gotta keep on your toes,
Yep.
Shit.
Suck
You
people
guys-
in the puss.
Exactly. So I mean it's pretty self-explanatory, the closing narration. It's this guy, minor league criminal, dies because he is an idiot and switched a bunch of buttons, and now he gone. He taken in a horse. Like, man, he has some weird looking clothes. Like, yeah, he's a time traveler. What do you expect? So yeah, excuse me.
On the flip side, real quick on that, the
Yeah.
clothes thing, we were talking about it earlier too. People had, I mean, they, the cut may have been slightly different, but a suit like what he was wearing, I mean, maybe the way he was wearing it, like open and everything, that was common. I mean, suits go back a long way. They may have said, oh, is this like French? It's slightly, I mean, it's the basic suit though is the same and has been the same. Maybe the coattails were a little bit
Maybe the
shorter.
shoes would have
But, I
been
mean,
the
they were
big.
like, what's he wearing? He's wearing like an astronaut suit. Maybe. But I
Like
mean,
between-
they acted as if it was like he was wearing a fucking like the bear suit from Wicker Man or something. Like, what is he wearing?
It would have been awesome.
I mean, I could get if they were like, why is he wearing a suit? He's out here in the fucking desert. But no, they're like, what is this? I don't know.
He
They're
needed
doing
to
it
show up with the shirt from The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street, the one that Charlie is wearing.
The flower one? Yeah, the
Yeah.
very loud.
Oh,
The-
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it should have been. I saw the color through the black and white in that fucking shirt.
Yeah.
That shit was loud.
Still blind.
Still reeling. So okay. So with that said, we'll go ahead and head into the Twilight Zone list, a ranking of each episode by our feelings of how good it is. And it's the list that you should look up to when you watch anything with Twilight Zone. So this is a tricky episode for the simple fact that it's a good episode, but is it a top 10 episode? Is it a below 10 episode? What do you guys think?
It's hard.
Is it better than Mirror Image, Mirror Edge?
I know immediately where I like, because I just looked before I usually wait for your starting point. You'd be like, is it better than this? And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, we'll start there. But I'm just like looking at them. I think I kind of like gravitated to the Last Flight because it's a time travel one too. And I was like, well, I like Last Flight. I like this, but I like Last Flight just a little, just a smidge, a smidgy better. So that's where I started. But as far as like Mirror Image, I think I like this one more than Mirror Image, which is weird because I was saying put it lower, but compared to Mirror Image, I like this one slightly more than Mirror Image.
Is it better than
So
Nan Adams hitting the guy and knocking his shoes off?
Oh. Man, there was so much good in that episode. I would say that one had a lot more talk. We talked a lot about this one, but really, this episode was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
A lot of our ranting and ramblings and talking was more like hazing, like in a good way. So I would say that one probably had more talking points about the actual episode.
I mean, I was not bored by this episode. So
no, I went quick.
No,
it was a tight episode.
It was, and it was a very solid episode, in my opinion. I thought it was solid, but it was also just kind of it was solid. It was, hey, it happened. It was very even. It was a very solid episode. It's very in the middle to me.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good episode. I wouldn't mind watching it again, but there's also a bunch of other episodes that are much more impactful than this one to me. But I still enjoyed the episode. We're getting to that point where we've got so many under our belt now.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of like incrementally step up. So it's like, okay, I liked it a little bit better than this one, but not as much as that one. I don't know. I've not contributed anything to this conversation up to this point, I don't think.
You've contributed a shit ton, man. Stop it.
Except for confusion.
No, not at all.
Well, no. Well, let me ask you this: the ending, is it better than the ending of like Third from the Sun or Elegy? Does it rank higher than those? Or, we joke about Nan Adams being in What You Need, but that's got like a crazy killer ending. I think this is like right in that wheelhouse because of the simple fact that Mirror Image has like an interesting concept. World different. Everything above 9, I wouldn't put above 9 or put it above that because I don't think this. I don't think this is as unique as those episodes, but you look like Mirror Image down to Third from the Sun. That's where I would put it. I don't know, Trev.
I like this one a lot. I definitely agree with Nick as far as like that range works. I can see it. I could see it between like Mirror Image and
it all based on like the ending, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think obviously that you wouldn't have been able to, if you watch this for the first time, you wouldn't have been able to guess the ending because honestly, it does come out of like it comes at you like Nan Adams, driving down the road on a bender. I don't know. Like Mirror Image was a solid episode, but I do think the ending of this is better than that. But it's because it's something that you don't expect. It's kind of got that perchance to dream type ending where it's just like boom. But Mirror Image is a more across the board episode. I don't know. I could see it 11 or 12 maybe. So like What You Need or Elegy, like in that area.
I liked it more than Elegy, but
yeah, I think
pure ending wise, Third from the Sun had a hell of an ending. The rest of it was very top heavy. Like the ending, the rest of the episode was kind of like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
But then the ending was just like, hell yeah. So just going off of endings alone, it had a really good ending. I mean, this did too, but Third from the Sun, hell of an ending. In fact, I remember changing my rating on that episode because I was basing all my thoughts on just the ending. If you take the ending away, the whole episode was okay.
You had Wilson and you had a like a well-appointed house.
He's a creepy guy.
Yeah.
I mean, What You Need, is it better than What You Need? I still feel like What You Need had a lot more substance and things to talk about, like truthfully, but I thought it was better than Elegy, so I would say somewhere in that 11 or 12 as well. How about you, Nick?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to think. I don't think this is as good as What You Need. I mean, I think it's about the same when it comes to like the shock value of what's going on. Because to be fairly honest, you were not expecting this guy to get hit by a car and his shoes to fall off. That's pretty shocking in its own right. Elegy, you can kind of see coming if you really think about it. It's pretty, you kind of understand that these people are on this asteroid that is very livable apparently, and the guy explains that they're there for a reason, so you kind of see it coming. And Third from the Sun, I would either put it above or below a Third from the Sun.
Okay, so like the way it looks now, 12 or 14.
Yeah, but you said you like the Third from the Sun ending better, but like, would you put this above Third from the Sun because
like the ending
it's more
better.
Evenly paced, right? But
yeah,
would you put it like above
overall,
it because it's more evenly paced?
Probably. If I had to just look at, because a minute ago you said just the ending. Yeah, I think the ending of Third from the Sun that's a hell of an ending in my opinion. I really like that ending. But just episode apples to apples, like episode from beginning to end, they both have great endings. And while Third from the Sun's ending I did like better, the entire episode I think here was better done. It was executed a lot better. So I would say maybe put it at 13, putting Third from the Sun down at 14. But then that does put Elegy above it, and I think it was better than Elegy.
Okay, so let me ask you guys this.
I could concede.
No, well, let me ask you this. Is this episode better or worse than What You Need? Because I actually kind of agree with that, putting it above Elegy.
I don't think it's better than What You Need.
What You Need better.
Yeah.
So you think
What You Need
right,
is
like
better.
right below it.
Yeah, I'd say. So between
What You Need
and
asked
Elegy.
a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And had a lot of talking points, even though all we talked about was Nan Adams. That car in the end, because that was amazing. But it had a lot of stuff to talk about and just really got your gears to turning.
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Cool.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, this is gonna get way more. I've gotten to a point on when I do the list movement, stuff like that, where I'm gonna have to do like a scroll down because the list is gonna get so big that if you make it too small, nobody's gonna be able to fucking read it. So I gotta figure out a new way to do that. There's a new inventive way to make a list.
Might I recommend what I do whenever I need to integrate something like that onto my channel? Might I recommend explosions?
There you go.
And a kid returning.
You don't know what to do, just blow it the fuck up. Yeah, just add explosions and it makes everything better.
Oh, absolutely.
PNG
But do
explosions to the screen.
But do explosions in black and white have the same impact as explosions in color?
You know what? You could go all fucking Sin City and have the explosion in color.
Ooh.
It'd be the only thing in color, and it would be like, oh my god, that's in fucking color, and we'll blow people's minds. Really.
You know what?
That's
what
the
else?
hook from the podcast.
You know what else you could do? You could have every single time you could have Caswell like bust through that phone booth and break like the thing.
I'm gonna start doing that. I'm like,
explosion.
We're gonna ask Jacob, is this episode worth a phone booth crash? All right.
Being thrown out of a fucking phone booth.
Yeah.
Either that or you could have Jeff announce it each time and he would just come on and say 14.
Yeah, fuck. So we'll go ahead and end the episode, but with that said, new number 12 is going to be Execution. Monsters
Is
are
it 13? No, you're right, it's 12. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to interrupt that. Sorry.
She's taking the place of Ellie.
You son of a bitch.
I know.
I'm gonna go find myself a TV.
Reveal Theater is a son of a bitch.
Where's the jukebox? So anyway,
Beat the fuck out of the jukebox. I hate this song. Turn that Rebecca Black shit off. God damn it.
So anyways, new number 1 is Monsters to Do on Maple Street. Number 26 is The Fever, because we don't have an itch for The Fever anymore. So
Next episode is fuck.
Which is unusual for the 1960s.
I know, right?
Uh-oh.
But the next episode that we're going to be talking about is an episode that actually is quite divisive for an episode that deals with a boxing individual. So it's called The Big Tall Wish, directed by Ron Winston, starring or written by Rod Serling. Doesn't look like it has anybody I recognize, maybe Stephen Perry, but that might be from Aerosmith, so I might be mixing that up. So look forward to that
one.
one.
Aerosmith?
I guess. I don't know. But when we come back from our break or whatever, look forward to that on the 21st of March, if I think I got that right. So anyways, we'll look forward to that. So that'll do it. Anyways, so that'll do it for season 1, episode 26. Yeah, 26, which is El Execution. So hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Let us know in the comments of any video that I post, or comments in the Apple podcast what you thought, what do you think of the episode as well, because I hope you watch it as long as we talk about it, that type of thing, that whatever wording I just came up with, I don't know. But just to let you know before we actually end the episode, we're going to take a week off. There's a lot of things going on, especially with me and a film festivals like that. So this episode posts on March 7th. So we will not have an episode on March 14th, but we will be back on the 21st. So look out for that. Just give us a week break. I know we are at the point where we are very loopy from doing this every week, but it'll give us a chance to take a week off, or at least you guys will get a week off from the shenanigans that is the Twilight Zone. So anyways, with that said, thank you so much for watching. Jacob, when they want to find your content and your Hugh Green, that seems to be your, he just like disappeared for a second. I'm like, what just happened? He just like froze. He's like,
My thing, my group.
yeah. But anyways, where can they? Yeah, you were just like one quick. You're like, so. Anyways, where can they find your content at?
You can find me at Jacob Andrews Reviews or Jacob Andrews Gaming on YouTube. Probably Jacob Andrews Reviews. Nobody subscribes to the other one. And you can find me at Red Neville 2 on Twitter, but mostly on YouTube. That's where I put all my content. And by the time this comes out, I would have started doing daily content again instead of every other day. But I think I will be skipping one day a week, take a day off. That'll be nice. But I will be doing 6 videos a week, if not more. And I will be also starting, I was setting it up today, maybe tomorrow, the next day, somewhere in there. I will be starting more streams and content on my gaming channel that hopefully people will want to check out there as well.
Excellent. Just don't get what's that word when they give you money? Don't get the money from Newegg, because they will screw you over apparently. So anyways,
yeah,
and
I'm glad I didn't buy from them.
Yeah, fucking Newegg. And Triv, when they want to send you pictures of bat asses, where can they find you at?
Sorry. You can find my stuff on, find my stuff. Sorry.
Your bat
now.
Yeah.
Is that right?
You can find, if you're looking for a place for your dictaphone. Okay.
Dictaphone. Dick and phone right here.
Oh man. If you want to find my random if you want to find my random assortment of content, my random ass assortment, you can find me here on YouTube at Trivial Theater. I will have put up a review with Nick here last week on Abraham Lincoln versus zombies, and by the time this goes live, I will have done a collab with Monty G from the Horror Miser on Deep Rising, so make sure to check that out. And you can also find me on Twitter at trivia_chick. And clearly I am losing my marbles because I keep screwing up.
You found your marbles.
I wish.
It's all good. It's what I do every day.
I press buttons and nothing happens.
Exactly. You press my buttons all the time, and I'm just like, stop doing that, Triv.
16mm shrine.
Exactly. Fucking 16. Oh. Anyways, you can find me at Movie Emporium on Twitter. Once again, we are an Apple Podcast. Subscribe there if you want to listen to the audio feed. At the time of this release, I'll post my Batman video, my Batman review that I've been holding dear to my chest for like 5 days now. So I'm super excited to get that out in the open. To, at this point, everybody has probably seen the movie by now, and Triv and of course Jacob are going to see the movie as well. So hopefully they enjoy it as much as I have at this point. So anyways, look out for that. That'll do it. That'll be our review of Execution. Thank you so much for watching. And for myself, Triv, and Jacob, we'll see you on the next episode of The Fifth Dimension.
Peace, love, chicken grease. I'm out this piece.
Hey, there might be a guy that's really into testicle trauma or whatever, because that's a thing.
The Pain Olympics.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. You guys ready?
Ready.
All right. I can't wait to put testicle trauma at the end of the episode.
There's actually a term for it, though. It's not testicle trauma. I don't remember what the proper term
blue
is.
Balls, getting hit in the blue balls, or I don't know.
No, it's something like testicle trauma, but it's not testicle trauma. It's like, I don't know, scrotum,
Scrotum relocation.
Yeah, exactly.
Scrotum relocation.
Your scrotum is now in your throat. Congratulations. In
Getting
movie
kicked in the
43.
balls.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that how Hugh Jackman got it?
I would imagine. Better than huge
Alright.
asshole.
What is it? He goes, Spaceballs. He goes, oh shit. Oh shit. There goes the planet. And he's like, no, what it is, he says, there's something coming out of her nose. I love that like exaggerated high British accent that they have.